Welcome to Spoken Reviews, home of the Spoken Reviews. Today, guys, we're going to do a quick comparison of the operating cost differences between the 2022 Tesla Model Y 4680 student range and the 2022 Jeep Wrangler Serhare 4xe. So for this comparison on the operating costs, we'll use a real-life trip to Houston that we did and at the very beginning of August, and with the charging cost for that. And I'll put up the screenshot so you guys can see, but basically on the way down to Houston, we stopped in Waco to charge up, and we spent $8 and basically $8 there. And that got us a little bit past halfway, and then we stopped again right outside of Houston in Waller, Texas, to charge up, and we spent $16.50. So a total of about $24 to get down there, plus the cost of charging at home, which for a full battery, it's about $7. So you could say, 24 plus 7, about $31 to get down there. Now, since we charged whenever we first got down there, we had basically a full battery the whole time we were in Houston, but we did charge up again on the way out, and we spent $10.89 there. Plus, we had to stop in Waco to finish getting home, so that was another $10 there. So again, the trip to Houston in the Tesla Model Y, there and back, roughly $51 to do that trip, using the superchargers and charging 4 times, plus the electricity that was used from the home charger. So again, around $51 over here, versus with the 4xe, basically, again, the first 25 miles are fully electric, which are great. Around town, you're not using any power, but once it goes out, you're going to be using the hybrid mode. You're going to be getting, roughly, 20 miles a gallon, a little bit more. You might say like 21, 22, depending on the speeds you go. But basically, that 500-mile trip there and back to Houston, just to say we're going to be burning 25 gallons, and at $3 a gallon, basically $75 to do the trip over here. But again, the pro is once I get there, I can charge up, maybe the driving around town, that 25 miles here and there to different places. I can do it fully electric, which is a huge pro, right? And I can save money there. But I would say worst case, you're gonna be spending $75 to do it with the 4xe, even though it's a plug-in hybrid, versus about $50 doing it with the Tesla. So that's kind of the financial difference whenever you think about, which one to take. And that's a very common trip in Texas, whether people going from Houston to Dallas, Dallas to Houston. About 500-mile weekend trip is a pretty common trip, and a good reference point for comparison. Now let's talk about what that means practically. Having to stop in Waco to charge with the Tesla, it's anywhere between a 20-minute to 30-minute charge, plus the time it takes to like exit and navigate there, waiting for red lights, also dealing with the kids, getting them in and out of the car seat. So it can be best case 20 minutes, but it can really be 20, 30 to 40 minutes stop. So the 4-hour drive becomes a 4.5-hour drive to, if I stop in Waller County like I've been doing, to get a full battery, to have battery while I'm in the Houston area. It's even more stopping and charging, right? So I can go from a 4-hour trip to basically a 4.5 to 5-hour trip. So it's not bad. It really depends on what's going on. But again, the Tesla Model Y, absolutely amazing. It's definitely my favorite vehicle that I've ever had. But that's just kind of the realistic viewpoint, right? Like $51 to get there. I'm only saving $25, but I'm adding an extra 30 minutes to an hour to the trip. Versus the 4xe, again, around town, this is where it excels. It's amazing. Again, when I go to work, when I do my errands, I'm not using any gas at all. For the most part, Monday through Friday, not using any gas. Just on the weekends, when I do longer trips or trips to Houston, I will have to pay a little bit extra, right? So pros and cons. The 25-mile range electric is good. I do think the sweet spot might be like, a 50-mile electric battery range. But again, there's pros and cons to that, right? Because it would double the weights. I think the battery and all the other stuff on this is just under 1,000 pounds to carry. So if you were to get, double the battery capacity, it would be great and more functional, but you basically be adding another 1,000 pounds of weight to do that. So pros and cons. As batteries come down in prices, you might see that more often. And I think the plug-in hybrid might be, a great solution for a lot of people. Just because, again, sometimes you just don't want to stop. Sometimes you want to just make that, 4-hour trip, a 4-hour trip. You don't want to have to stop for gas, which you do have to do with this. So we're kind of still in that mode of debating about it. So like, for example, with our recent trip to Florida and the Model Y, which absolutely loved it. It was a great drive. Really enjoyed just the comfort of the car and the space and everything. But again, we added almost 2.5 to 3 hours of stopping and charging to go to Florida versus if we would have taken the Jeep, which we didn't have at the time, but if we had taken the Jeep, we still would have had to stop for, bathroom, and little breaks for the kids. But it wouldn't have been 2.5 to 3 hours. We might have, gotten it down to an hour and a half worth of stops. So pros and cons of both, but hopefully this video was helpful as you guys are kind of comparing. If you click this video, you might be like on the edge of, hey, do I want to go Tesla, the all-electric route, which is an amazing route and a huge proponent of Tesla and EVs, or hey, maybe you want to put your foot in the water and kind of get the temperature of electric life. And again, if that's what you want to do, the plug-in hybrids are an amazing option. Again, lots of pros with the Jeep. And we'll get into other videos about the pros and the cons, but again, this one's simply going over just kind of the financial aspect of it. So once again, I'll hash that again. $51 to get down to Houston and back for a weekend trip in the Tesla versus we'll just project $75 to do the same exact trip in the 4xe, but again, without the stops. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this quick video. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you have any cool ideas for like videos, please leave those below too, because I'd love to get ideas from comments and do those videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.